With all due honor and praise to the Most High, we worship the divine image of my wives. Amen. Welcome to the Horseman Law podcast. Yo, we back, man. Listen, all my brothers out there, man, pass this around. Share this. Let's get to it. I want y'all to get on. I want to see y'all in the chat. We're going to chop up some real shit tonight. It's necessary. It's much needed. Those of us in the field of protection, this is for y'all. Get your glasses, get your whiskey, get your cigars. We're going to have some serious conversation tonight, and we're going to really talk about this business and what's happening in this business and what's happening to us. Because let's face it, man, this is about us. And I've been listening. First, let's start with a rest in power to Takeoff, a member of the Migos, who lost his life tragically last week on Halloween. And let's reflect on this young brother, this young God, and not only that he lost his life, but how he lost his life. And, let's really get into that, because I think this is something that could have been avoided. This is something that could have been shut down out the gate. And I want to talk to y'all tonight and talk about how do we shut stuff down, right? There's a culture in this industry, especially with us as protectors. There's a culture of not being willing to say two words. And those two words are, let's go. Let's go. That's simple. Let's go. How do you know when it's time to go? How do you know you need to go? And how do you leave? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Those three things. How do you know when it's time to go? How do you leave? And how you get your client to leave. Now, let me explain something to you, to everybody. What's the value of a horseman? What's the value of brothers like us? Value of my mentor, Killer J. What's the value of people like us in this industry? You think it's the size? Or you think it's the guns, the violence, the HOV, the history of violence? No, it's none of that. It's none of that. Anybody can be violent. Anybody can have a HOV. Anybody can carry a gun. Lifting weights don't mean a goddamn thing. It's about experience, relationships. That's the value of a horseman. 30 years of work, Killer J. 18 plus of my own. Relationships, whether you're talking about the Migos, whether you're talking about Drake, whether you're talking about Raymond Felton, whether you're talking about my brother Stack Jack, whether you're talking about all these people we've been with, Jay Prince, Jazz Prince, all these people we've worked for, Floyd Mayweather, all these people we have intimate relationships with. That is the key. People who respect your authority of knowledge in this business. Threat assessment. That's what comes with that kind of experience. You've seen it all. You can feel it. It's cloaked. When you walk into a room, it's cloaked. You can feel it in the air. It's all over you. I know when it's time to go. Right? I see dudes 17, 18 years old walking around with Dracos and their skinny jeans. You know what? It's time to go. Get your shit and let's go. We're not going to argue about it. We're not going to fuss about it. We can fight about it in the car. As a matter of fact, we can argue about it at home. I do you one even better. You can fire me from the comfort of your home because I made you leave. Because I said, let's go. You can wake up in the morning and hate yourself because I dragged you by your fucking collar out of there. You can do that from the comfort of your home. And I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be good. See, because a real one going to recognize, you see what he just did? You see what just happened? He saved his life. I'm not here to die for you. I know that's the oath. I know we all got that oath. I know we all the brothers in the field. I know that's the oath. Yeah. That's the bag you carrying. But I'm not here for you to die for it. The price you pay for me is for you to live with it. For you to keep it. I want you to have it. I want you to share it with your family. Pass it down to your children. That's what I'm here for. See, the battles of glory, the fights and all that shit is over with. That's gone. Them days are over. Right now, you either want to live or you want to die. If you want to die, if you want to go on a suicide mission, if you want to be a gangster, do that by yourself. Do that alone. Don't take nobody with you because the people who are dying are not the gangsters no more. See, back in the day, if you was a gangster, if you was a gangbanger, that was you. But then it spun off, and then you got grandmas getting hit. You got kids getting hit with strays. You got children getting hit. Women and children getting hit. Let me tell you something. I see a young person with a firearm. I see a young person with a gun. You know what that tells me? One, he don't know what the fuck to do with it. He has no clue. Two, he ain't gonna hit nobody but everybody. I'm gonna say that one more time. He ain't gonna hit nobody but everybody. That's how you know it's time to go. Now, men die over a lot of things. I'm gonna tell you the three most likely reasons why men die. Pussy, money, and stupidity. And none of those things are mutually exclusive. You can die because you're dumb. You can die over a piece of ass. Or you can die over money. I'm going to just give you a hint. When you're in a situation where you find all three, it's time to go. Now that's just for the novice. For the novice of you. For the novice. For the rookies. If you find all three in an environment, grab your client and tell them it's time to go. You got Negroes being stupid, surrounded by pussy, playing with money. That's a recipe for disaster. 2 out of 3 is a recipe for disaster. That's enough for me. 2 out of 3 is enough for me. If it's 2 out of 3, it's enough for me. A horseman can take you wherever you want to go in the world, wherever you want to go. That does not mean you're going to stay there. You can go. Don't mean you're going to stay. Because the moment it ain't right, it ain't right. Gather your things. It's time to go. Situation awareness. Situational awareness. Where are you at? Who's around you? Are there exits? What's your exit strategy? How do you get out of there? These are all the things that you have to worry about when you're in this business, when you're doing this. And I'm not just talking about my guys who are doing personal details. Maybe you're working security at a venue. It starts there. It starts there. That's where you build and sharpen your situational awareness tools. That's where you sharpen the edges of those blades. Is at the club, bouncing. All my brothers know. All my brothers know. You've been there. Situational awareness. What's going on in the club? Who's beefing with who? Who's arguing? Who's fucking with whose girl? Is she jumping from crew to crew? Is she jumping from click to click? What's her pedigree? What's she been doing? Oh, niggas been fighting over her for months. Noted. Who's she with? Oh, that nigga's a hothead. Noted. Watch him. Right? What's his history? What's his HOV? What is he known for? Oh, watch him. What he got? Who's packing? Who's being patted down? Right? You walk into a venue, the first thing you want to know is who's being checked and who's not. Situational awareness. Now, this is for those of you who think you bad enough to go by yourself. We've been saying it on the show. We've been saying it ever since we started. The real test for success is how you protect yourself. That's when you really balling. That's when you balling. Is how you protect yourself. You know the president is the president because of Secret Service. You know the value of a person by how he protects himself. It is stupidity to market yourself as a successful man and not be willing to protect yourself. It's stupidity. You either market yourself as an unsuccessful man. Bums don't need security. Homeless men don't need security. You can look like a homeless man all day long and not have to worry about protection. Nobody sees you. It is ridiculous to want to be seen and not want to protect yourself. It is stupidity to want to be seen and not want to protect yourself. I don't care what you see on the TV. I don't care what they rap in the songs. I don't care what you see here. It is utter stupidity to market yourself as a successful man, whether you are for real or not, and not take steps to protect yourself. Now, I've seen it. I've watched all the videos. I've seen all the breakdowns. All these Negroes want to be Dick Tracy now. All these motherfuckers are going to solve it. But I've yet to hear somebody talk and somebody break down the prevention. Understand something. You got two men with money. You got multiple men with money. You got successful young black gods in their fields. Everybody wants to protect them. Everybody wants to be that guy. I get that. I understand it. I understand it. But there's a such thing called de-escalation. Very important. I want everybody to understand that. De-escalation. To de-escalate. Learn your vocabulary. Look up the definition. To de-escalate is something that black people never see amongst police. Rarely do you see a police officer involved with a black man de-escalate the situation. Right? As a matter of fact, as a black man out here, you're rarely going to walk into a situation where someone uses de-escalation tactics or techniques. Your whole life is escalation. Learn to de-escalate. Learn what that means. Learn how to do it and what tactics. Let's talk about some. Let's talk about a few. Let's talk about a few. What value are you, and this is outside of protection, what value are you to your homie? That's your man. That's your road dog. Y'all smoke together, y'all ride together. Some of y'all fucking broads together, whatever that's about. That's your boy. What value are you to him if you can't tell him to relax? If you can't tell him you tripping? Reverse that. What value are the people around you if somebody can't tell you you tripping? If somebody can't tell you to fall back, you're doing too much. This is unnecessary. Nah, we're not doing this. You are either being used or you're useless. If I can't use you, you're useless. And uselessness is liability. Everyone around in these situations are liabilities. Do not surround yourself with liabilities. Surround yourself with useful people. You drinking, you smoking, you getting high, you feeling good. Make sure you have people around you who are going to protect you in those situations and be useful. And being useful ain't being willing to hurt somebody for you. That's not what that means. When you're dealing with people with money, when you're dealing with situations with money in other cultures, they value people who can help them keep the most of their money. That's how they value everyone around them. Accountants, business managers. Those are the people they're closest to. Anybody in high, successful industries, corporations, music, television, movies, sports, pay attention. Everybody around them are strategically placed in order to make them more money or to keep them money. Now reverse that and look at hip hop. Ask yourself, is everybody around these artists there to help them make money, help them keep money? Those are the questions you should ask yourself. And if you're working in hip hop And if you're working for these artists, you're going to have to stand on your own square. I make no mistake about it. I tell anybody, it doesn't matter to me. I've been fired from several clients, several times. Means nothing to me. Simply because I refuse to allow any client to put me in a position where I don't go home. Or even worse, that my brother doesn't make it home. It's not an option. Me saying let's go is less likely about the client than it is the brothers I work with. You could just add that. It's less likely about the client and more about the brothers I work with. They got to go home. They got to go home to their families. So never be afraid to say, let's go. Never be afraid to say, this ain't it. Never be afraid to say, you know what? You tripping. We can argue about this in the car. We can fight about this at home. Because more times than not, if you feel like you're in a bad situation, guess what? You're in a bad situation. Rarely do you ever see anybody lose their life at a bar mitzvah. Rarely do you ever see somebody lose their life at any of these other cultures' gatherings, parties. And if you've worked with other cultures, you know it. I've been to several Italian gambling spots. I've been to several crap games from other cultures. Never seen anything like this before. If you frequent the other underground, the so-called underground brothels, whatever, you rarely see situations like this. So I don't know what to tell you. I could sit here and say, oh, well, this ain't going to happen again. It will. I could sit here and tell you, we're going to learn from this and no, we will not. Because if you continue to worry about the money you're making over the lives you're protecting, that's the money. That's the money. The money ain't the money you're getting from this client. That ain't the money. If you really care about this career, if you really care about what you're doing, if you really care about protection, the money is a successful detail. That's the money. The money is when a client says, I ain't going out without him. That's job security. You want to know job security. Job security ain't you keeping your mouth shut, hiding in the wings, scared to say something. That ain't job security. Job security ain't being the motherfucker scared to speak up. That ain't job security. You may think it is, it ain't. Job security is when the person you working for says, I ain't going there without him. Never mind that. That's job security. And the way you get that kind of job security is being trusted to know that you're there to make sure this man keeps his wealth, not die over it. That's just my opinion on it. I'm sure Killer J has his own opinion on it. And we're going to talk to him about it and see how he feels about it. Let's see if we can get him on the phone. Mm-hmm. No answer. All right, I'll hit him up and we'll see if we can get him on the horn. We'll keep chopping it up. Listen, it's a tough week. It's a tough week, man. Once again, we had an attack of the shoe booties like no other this week on my good brother Kyrie. Hey, I was talking to my father about this, and you know, I'm pro-black, and I like to say, I like to think of myself as somebody who loves his people, but I'm gonna say something that might be controversial, and it's just this: I'm a soldier, but I'm no black advocate. I'm no advocate for Negroes. I've come to realize that Negroes will never love black people or a black man or a black woman unless they're failing or dead. It's the only way you're going to get love from Negroes. Negroes are conditioned not to love you unless you're failing or dying. It's the only way they love you. They only love you when you're being stripped of everything. You have to be martyred for them to love you. And I don't want that. With me, I've said it before on this podcast. It's either all out war. It's either all out, we go into war, or you sit back and you play the game. Now, clearly, we'll get back to that. Killer J.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
My brother, what's up, man? Happy Horseman Sunday.
Horseman Sunday. How you doing, brother?
How's it going out there?
Oh, man, we was working hard, man. Just trying to put my head on all this bullshit that's going on there right now.
So I was talking to the people about this, takeoff. Rest in peace to that, brother. How you feel about it?
I'm going to give you three different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you the right way, the real way, and the way that's going to hurt your fucking feelings, all right?
Give it to him.
All right, this is the reality. You guys can't talk about death and murder, y'all killing, y'all doing all this shit, but then y'all get put in these situations, you guys ain't performing like y'all say y'all perform. Then on top of that, if you from the streets and this is what you do, it's called situational awareness. Like, you can't go to nobody's house and expect the yard to please you. When you out of town visiting, use your visitor's pass. Hi and bye.
Use your that part.
But the part I'm confused about. These rappers say they was in the jungle, they was selling, they was shooting. Then you would know when you got a visitor's pass what to do, what don't do. But I always tell you, Tank, sometimes you got to treat the shit like interracial relationships. Stick and move. Like, why are you over there, bro? But then on top of that, the people that are around you, if you the boss, your soldiers supposed to wash your back. Ain't nobody supposed to touch you or disrespect you. Then on top of that, you can't expect the other man's soldiers not to get crazy with. They feel his boss. Every soldier got a job to do.
Absolutely. Well, like you said, you supposed to know when to leave.
First of all, you supposed to know when not to go. Then on top of that, what gets me is this. You can't say you've been in these type of confrontations. Everything in life has danger in it. You play with a knife, you might get cut. You play with a gun, you might get shot. You fuck raw pussy, you might get burned. Everything in life has danger to it. So my thing is this, bro. Always be patient, self-awareness, and know your ability and the people ability around you. Don't put somebody that's not a shark in a shark's position when it's time for them to eat. They don't know how to eat for you.
That's right.
Now, the sad part is, this is the sad part, is that as men, right, we have to know in this business of entertainment. For some reason, right, all rappers want to prove they're tough and hard and this craziness. I was just saying, quitting cutting throats. I was in Alcatraz raping people. I just shot 7 people. But my man, it's like wrestling, WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the entertainment at your job and be the real person off your job.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're saying is they trying to live it.
They're trying to live something they're not, when the craziness is this, bro. Just be normal.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me you're a killer, then somebody falls in your situation, y'all are crying and screaming, calling people. Then, bro, you said you killed 6 people. You can't say before the war happens, I'm going to kill somebody. Then it happens, then you crying. But then on top of that, this is the one thing. You can't expect outside soldiers to practice on you when you the outside.
Mm-hmm.
But the most part is this breakdown how these guys in this business move accordingly. Number 2, don't put your safety in any stranger. You have enough money to purchase a hotel room, a car, a girl, a piece of jewelry, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then purchase yourself some security. Know how to move. You use your own transportation. And if you're secure, say, bro, this ain't the place to be, then go off.
Period.
You can't want everything given to you. You want the protection. You want the weekend pass. You want the groupie pussy in the city. You want to move around with the local gang in the city. But you don't want no blowback. You want the cake, the candles, and the clown.
And don't want to go to the party.
Then on top of that, what's the rules? If you going off your people, right? Everybody has to be watched. Everybody's protected. Then on top of that, what's the first of all, we break it up. It's called tactical awareness. I'm not going to have our people enclosed with anybody because the 2 bosses step aside and let the soldiers be over there. We don't need a big huddle. Everybody step aside.
That's right. Yeah, that was one of the things I did not understand. And that's how you know these are young people who have no experience of what they're doing. We've been around motherfuckers with big money, crap games, and everything else. Ain't nobody finna be crowding the game.
Come on.
Ain't nobody finna be crowding the game. You are just creating an environment that's gonna be hostile. You're creating it. You're baking that cake.
See, this is the part that be so crazy too, right? Is that just what you said, right? The thing is, like you say, what's the game that important? Because we've been in games where the boss is in the room and the soldiers outside the door.
Right.
Saying this would go down to minutes. Then this crazy part gonna be the blowback, because they start playing yard rules where this person that sings, dances, and laughs, he's affiliated with them. We're gonna get him now. It's too many narrative situations, because they start going, well, who's and who. Then another situation is, so the people involved decide to come to that man's area, invade that man's area, how that people gonna move there now? Yeah. It's too many open narratives. Or if the people don't retaliate against some other people, what are you gonna think about them?
Yeah, I mean, but that goes to the politics shit.
But then on top of that, the thing that no one's even talking about, this is what behooves me. I will never understand. You have this fat, dick-sucking nigga named DJ Academic. He want to be Dick Tracy. I'm confused on how anybody supports hip-hop music got this I Spy nigga up there, his titties touching the screen, his lips touching the motherfucking monitor, and they letting this nigga talk and pinpoint shit. Then they got this senior citizen talking all this stuff. When did this become cool?
Right.
something cool to say, because then you guys can't keep saying that y'all come from incarceration backfield or bloodline of this set or that sect, and all y'all doing is talking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, but this is when I told you, our world has to, somebody needs to tell them, look, my man, right now, let them figure it out. The people wearing the uniforms, let them figure it out. Because all you doing is putting stuff on somebody. My sister could have been there. My brother could have been there. So why are you making a scene hotter than what it is? Now it ain't got nothing to do. Now it ain't got nothing to do about them people that were there. Now it's me and you because you put my family on blast.
Yep.
See, they don't get that. What I always tell you, sometimes in this world, it's got to be a little bad for it to turn back good.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I've never seen it, man. You talking about cats who were supposed to be stomped down gangsters, some of the biggest leaders, gangbang leaders, makes me ashamed, who are actually online doing the work of the police. How do you make sense of that?
This to me. What I tell you before, this is a picture of a gangster, right? You take a guy, some skinny jeans on, some Balenciagos, a little bit of gold teeth, couple chains, give him a couple parts in his eyebrows, his hair slicked back. If he comes to any club or bar or restaurant, give him a little money in his pocket, a girl, and he's black, oh, he's a gangster. Not knowing this nigga probably sucked 30 dicks when he got to the club, but his appearance, he's a gangster.
It's a costume.
That's the part that's so scary. So scary. Then you got people, these so-called security guys. Y'all fuck it up for the people that actually do security because y'all want to be in everybody's picture, everybody's video, talking to talk, no type of training. Because people be forgetting there are some guys that in society that know how to work for their man, use that hammer for their man, and get busy for their man.
Oh, you know it. You know it. You know it. Now, there are some cats in this. See, and that's how you know you're dealing with a whole new kind of motherfucking bodyguard. See, we talking about attempted kidnappings, armed robberies, extortions, ambushes.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's some serious business. That's what the guns are for.
Mm-hmm.
You motherfuckers walking around with guns to the barbecue and the baby shower, where you ain't gonna kill nobody but people you know, people right around the corner.
Mm-hmm. But Tank, what's crazy that then also is this thing is crazy, right? My thing is I would ever understand, right? You have to move accordingly. So wait, this right? If your man gonna go somewhere, where's your advance guy at?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this? And this is not just for that situation. It's any situation. It should always be the advance guy.
Mm-hmm.
It should always be what your boss is in the car with one guy, and there's a chase car behind him. See, look, we can say countless situations happen. Okay, look, situations happen with Future landing in Ibiza. His security got in a situation because it's no proper team movement. When there's no proper team movement, it's always going to make the situation get far out of hand, and somebody gets hurt.
That's right. That's right.
You know, even you and me, in this world we live in, politics run so high that a lot of times people don't realize what the politics really are, and it always goes left. If this is about securing a package, there's enough resource you have over there to secure your package. If this is about a situation where you want to shake hands and be cool in town, do that for a monetary couple minutes and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Bleach and milk ain't never gonna mix.
Yeah.
Because like you said, just from the get-go, this could be not that situation, any situation.
Mm-hmm.
If the bosses are arguing, while your boss and the other boss in a circle, there's no space, surrounded by soldiers. De-escalate it. You bosses walk over there, your team right there, my team right here, let the bosses figure it out. If they can't figure it out, then we're going to do what we do. But when all sides are together, it's going to make drama happen. You put two dogs in your space, somebody's going to get bit.
That's a fact.
I think going forward in life, people with personal protection, they have to move a certain way because a lot of times the client can't tell the protector where to go. The protector has to tell the client where to go.
Well, like we always said before, the client don't know nothing about threat assessment.
No.
They can't assess a threat.
No.
So you be a fool to listen to your client tell you what's safe and what's not safe.
It's like a 3D movie, right? The people, they are obsessed and they see the client and they happy. They want to take they take pictures. Then a lot of times the clients, they want to be around that scene because they want to fit in and fit cool with that scene. So it's two different people coming from two different areas. One coming from, yo, I like you because you do this. And one coming from, I really like you guys, so you guys do that. And, you know, fake and real don't never get along.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but my thing, is forte, is society. You can't tell, fuck the rappers, you can't tell the people that are actually in the streets how to conduct themselves if you're not with them.
Yeah.
You can't tell somebody from Idaho how to move on their block. That's their block.
That's right.
Then what gets me a lot of times on the internet, you got people who don't actually know the people, just know the person's name or saw an image, then they're commenting on how they're going to move and do this. You don't know the politics of that movement, of that law, or that land.
No, that's important. You don't know the politics of any hood that ain't yours.
Yeah, so why? But see, we live in an era where everybody just speaks on it. Oh, yeah, I would go like, how? Oh, yeah, he did this. But you don't know them. Oh, yeah, but you never been around them. Oh, yeah, I wasn't there. You never left the state of Connecticut, but you tell somebody how to move in Texas. Like, I'm confused.
Oh, yeah. In the classic, oh, you should have just hired some white cops with guns.
Listen. This is what I tell everybody. If you hire law enforcement, number one, they have to talk to their watch command. Number two, no law enforcement is going to jeopardize their badge or pension for any illegal activity. The minute they come out in a discharge, he's sitting on the desk, IED going to sit him down, talk to him. All of his ducks got to be lined up in a row. Because if you had the client or anybody he's working for had anything illegal on them, it's his right as law enforcement to make a case on them.
Yep. If you hiring off-duty police, you are hiring the best prosecution witnesses you will ever buy.
But not even that. You putting that police officer, he's not going to jeopardize his badge or his pension.
No.
Let me tell you something. You just listen to me. I don't know that fat pig's name that worked at death row, right? He was a police officer, and he finally got what he got. You know what I'm saying? As far as in trouble stuff. A lot of times, active law enforcement, if it's a property or it's moved from point A to point B, I would suggest that. But if you're in a situation where your client smokes weed, your client's entourage carry illegal firearms, you're in a situation where somebody might get shot, why would you put somebody that you say, A, going to be a witness against you, and B, is going to have to stop and interfere?
Not only that, they're going to have to report you. They come up on charges.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, they're going to have to report you.
So I don't get all that. But then on top of that, for somebody to even say that, I tell you right now, this is what you're gonna do. I bet everything in life. Go get the person on Joe Biden right now. Get Joe Biden's head guy. You take him. You take Joe Biden's head guy and you send him to booby trap Miami. Then from there, send him to the compound in motherfucking Atlanta. Then from there, send him to motherfucking any club in Florence, South Carolina, and watch how fast that man melt like butter on pancakes. Because he's out of his element.
Big time.
You kiss me. It's very few hybrid security that can do corporate security. There's very few that can still do you're going to say the rappers or the athletes. It's very few that have that situation where they can actually de-escalate the situation. Hey, yo, my man, that's my guy right there. What's going on? Let me talk to you, homie. Show me that.
Yeah.
Now, just the thing, you don't see any buffers. If two bosses are talking, maybe there is an OG or somebody, or you know what I'm saying, somebody in that crowd that the boss knows. This could be any situation. Or, like you say, a lot of times in certain situations, the boss can say, "Look, you know what, bro? I'm gonna holler at you next time. All our people ain't vibe right now." And sometimes the boss got to be the big man and walk away.
Yeah.
Like you say before, the name of the game is de-escalation, protection, and come back another day.
Yep.
Those three things.
Yep.
Then if they don't work out, then we on the yard. We're gonna crash out. Somebody got to leave here. Somebody got rolled up or even medevac. But always de-escalation, communication, respect, and hopefully that makes everything go away. But then if it don't, then you got to do what you got to do. But if you're the captain, is your honor and your duty to de-escalate situations.
No, that's a fact. Especially when you know you're gonna put other people at risk.
Yeah, you know that any captain or yard boss that has the power to make it go boom, you're gonna be very, very, very careful when you send the crash team out, because you got your whole entire car on stake. Whether you do protection, whether you work at IHOP, whether you work at Chili's, whether you're a bouncer at a strip club, if you got your people and you got the power, they're gonna roll with you. You have to be careful, because your word can start a conflict or a war or a skirmish. So de-escalation first.
Fact. I mean, that's the key. And these motherfuckers can't be scared to do that.
It's another thing too. When all the bosses, you don't need everybody in society. Listen, stop tape. See, this is the first thing. Everybody had a camera out, should have got smashed. That's the first thing. Fuck what's going on with them. As soon as they start talking, whoever had a camera get punched or get thrown the fuck out. Or number one, if it's a private event, take everybody's phone.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So now we stop. Now it's no more Hood Chronicles, Martha Little Tay and Cookbook being interviewers. Now that stopped.
Yeah.
See, that's there. Once you shut that shit down, okay, now these two are rapping. Remember this. Now it's just a tale. I don't know what they was talking about. Hey, which one is there? Okay, boom. But when you know what it is, whenever we live in a situation now where everybody's tastes like something. You know this thing. You can go to Starbucks right now. What do you mean they got no pumpkin latte? Oh, this is acting crazy in there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got their phone out. Now you on Channel 6 News. Black guy goes crazy on whipped cream. But it's not even like that.
Nah, that phone shit is going to be the downfall of every one of these Negroes, because if you're paying attention now, they setting up RICO charges for everything. That's going to be the downfall for every one of these people in the game, because all they have to do is tie you to some criminal activity, and whatever you claiming, they coming for. So you know how we come from the era where nobody had phones.
Yeah, see, I think it's important. Listen, this is the only era, just back on the phones.
Mm-hmm.
If a guy got a girl, he's doing things with a girl, the first thing he going to do is pull a phone out.
Yep.
He's supposed to take that phone and shove it up his ass till he bleed. Mm-hmm. But that don't happen. It's no more privacy. Everybody wants to talk and do this. Let me say something. Stop the phones. If it's a private event, no phones allowed. Have people sign waivers, NDAs. That's number one. Okay. If there's any hammers coming through, you pick and choose what it is, and that's how you go from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then on top of that, these are my people coming in here. If I don't tell you to go, don't nobody go. Give everybody a whiff a pass. We'll figure it out tomorrow. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fact.
All right. Well, shit, we're going to move, bro. I call me tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Everything that was just said right there is the facts. I mean, you're in a situation, and we're all in these situations on other people's territory. and you don't know the rules of their territory. That's the best way I could have ever put it. You want a visitor's pass. Operate accordingly. That's some valuable advice, man. Wherever you go, if you ain't never been there before, if you don't know these relationships, if you ain't tied in intimately, you want a visitor's pass. You should already be with your head on the swivel, paying attention to everything around you. And that's just keeping it real. I'm gonna button that whole conversation up too, because like I said, I've never seen um, so many gangsters become detectives in my life. So uh, the behavior with this phone and the social media is something that is beyond me, and that's some different shit. Um, Prayers, thoughts and prayers to everybody involved, and I hope everybody, you know, is protected and safe. But back to what I was saying before, and we were talking about the shoe booties and my good brother Kyrie. Listen, I don't believe. Well, let me backtrack. Let me say this. Listen, all the brothers who are successful athletes, celebrities, whatever it is, your field of endeavor, if you're successful at it and you're making money at it and you're taking care of your family, God bless you. All I say is do no harm. Do no harm. I'm not an advocate. I don't expect advocacy out of these brothers. I understand the game. I understand the politics. I understand corporations. I understand the bylaws and investments, and you know, uh, I understand all that. The pressure that goes along with being successful in any endeavor in this country as a black man. So I don't expect advocacy out of any of these brothers. I don't expect any of them to know what they're talking about enough to be an advocate for black social issues. I don't know enough to be an advocate for black social issues. I just point out the inconsistencies and the shit that don't make sense. It ain't got nothing to do with, uh, you know, social commentary. I don't think a black man in these working for these companies should ever have social commentary. Do no harm. Be quiet. Just shut up. That's all. What gets me is that you obviously are being used to tear down other brothers, and they do it willingly out of fear. That I don't agree with. That I can't get with. I can get with you being quiet. I can get with you being, you know, about your money and a business and playing behind the scenes strategically. You understand? If I'm looking for advocacy, I'll look to the nation. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and people under him. Rizza Islam, Ben X, 19 Keys. If I'm looking for black advocacy, I'm looking at men from the nation, because these men are trained in advocacy. They're trained to be advocates for the black community. They're trained in these issues. See, to be a real person of knowledge and a real person of information in that field, you have to be trained to know what you're talking about. You have to be trained to be able to combat the system. If you are not trained to combat the system, step out of the fucking ring. You don't know what you're doing in there. You can't protect yourself. And you end up getting knocked out. So if you don't have the proper training, just be quiet. Do no harm. Do no harm. Do not put yourself in a position to where they can force you to apologize. That's it. Because if you're in a position where you're not willing to die on it, they're going to buck break you on it. And it's a damn shame. That does harm to not only the black community, it does harm to all black men in this nation. So you have to put yourself in a position, and I salute it. I salute the people who strategically never end up in that position. See, people don't pay attention to the Denzel Washingtons and the Michael Jordans and the Rock. Pay attention to those brothers. Those are the ones who are valuable, who understand. Listen, I'ma shut the fuck up. I ain't gonna say nothing on here that I have to come back and apologize for. Let me, rather than do harm, be quiet. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for those brothers. I mean, I recognize the courage. I recognize the frustration of my brother Kyrie. And what he did was not foul, was not a violation whatsoever. But they put him in a position. Now, I understand the pressure that goes along with NBA contract and how much money they offer, that you're being paid, and with that money comes all kind of responsibilities. We don't know what kind of philanthropy that this man is into. We don't know what his situation is behind the scenes, what he got invested in. He can be invested in all kind of things that do tremendous help to the black community. And in order to keep that going, and in order to keep that alive, and in order to keep the financing coming in, he's got to apologize in order to keep it going. It's not for us to judge. But had he been trained, or had he been in a position to know, to think ahead of the game, to be ahead of the game and know these people are coming in any which way. We used to talk about it on the show when he refused to take the jab, and he refused, and in spite of every shoe booty Negro who came out and chastised that man because he refused to let somebody stick him with some experimental medicine. They dogged him, wronged him, kept him from playing the sport that he loved. And you just watched them, one after the other. They just trot out in front of you, talking shit, just trot out in front of you. So I know the frustration. Then you see somebody like Kanye come out and start dropping jewels of truth along with probably things he shouldn't have said. See, but he's not understanding the game. He's not a valuable target. This is somebody who has perceived mental illness, and to get him just ain't enough. They needed a real soldier, somebody who really, really wanted to stand on the square. So you knew they was coming after this brother. And now they got a list of demands that they want this man to do. And now there's just humiliation is what they're going after now. I would love for this brother to say, fuck that, call Ice Cube, and go play for the Big Three. I would buy season tickets tomorrow. Should probably still do that anyway. But I would buy season tickets tomorrow. That brother did that. Now imagine if everybody did that. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. Now I don't judge the brother. I love the brother anyway. Whatever he chooses to do. If he chooses to fall on his sword and go in and do these demands, I have no judgment for him. He does what he has to do. I still stand by him. I understand. I get it. Who am I to judge? I protect people. It's not that I like everybody I protect, but you just do what you got to do. You know. But I'm in a position to choose people who are worthy and worth protecting. And I hope that brother is in a position to choose the people who are worth apologizing to. Because it ain't just about an apology. Who you apologizing to? In spite of all the suckers, man, who are out there beating this brother down. And it's interesting. It's interesting. All the brothers who are supposedly the strongest of us. It's interesting to watch them fold and beat on this brother like they are. Some of the men that I used to look up to and look at and be like, damn, look how he run on the field. Look how he play the game. To watch them cower in a situation like this is disturbing at most. I mean, think about it. You want to force a man to apologize and force a man to pay money to organization for a retweet? And that ain't supposed to be extortion? Come on, man. Come on. Even a person with the worst eyes can see through all that shit. Come on. You saw what they did to Nick. You saw what they've done to others. This is obviously a ritual that is being perpetrated on us for purposes that are beyond our understanding. So I salute to Kyrie. I salute to anybody who is out there willing to stand up against oppression. And if you fall and if you fold, I still salute you. But if you out there advocating for these brothers to fold, that is an unforgivable act in my eyes. Unforgivable. Because it's one thing to play the game. It's one thing to take care of your business. It's another thing to help. I hearken to the plantation. There's a special kind of hatred for not just the motherfucker cracking the whip, but for the slave that handed it to him. Special. You may think, oh, because we're getting paid and the money's coming in, and give it a few. They'll forget. Nah, your people ain't gonna forget this. I know you on ESPN and whatever, you giving your commentating, and I gotta do what I gotta do in order to make it. Yeah, cool. The people will not forget you. Everybody know I'm a movie buff. I'm a movie buff. And I remember 300. And you remember 300 with the little troll or the dude that wanted to fight and couldn't fight. And the king told him and pointed at him when he betrayed the whole army. and led the others through the back route, led the enemy through the back route. And he looked at him, he pointed at him, he told him, he said, may you live forever. Straight up. That's how I'm looking at these cats. May you live forever. Straight up. All right, so that was tonight's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was very informative. And listen, I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to get home. I want everybody to make it home. And I want you in this industry, in this business, to be the best at what you do. We gotta represent. We gotta represent. We caught a lot of L's. We've been catching a lot of L's. I know. But it's only up to us. We are the best option for protection in hip hop. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care who they say. I don't care if they want ex-military, police, whatever. Don't matter. Mossad, don't matter. This is our culture. We are the best at protecting this culture. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. I'm going to close out. With all due honor and praise to the Most High, I worship thee through the divine image of my wives. Amen and good night.